There we go. We are live. This is the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 Raffle live stream show for everyone on the planet. We're here to discuss the missed opportunities that were talked about yesterday, and we still have a massive reduction in price, not reduction in circulating supply. We do have 20 million sent to the dead end wallet today, so if it's something you're interested in making money, you're in the right place. And welcome to the SHIB community. As we get started with today's conversation, right off the bat, we're going to talk about the SHIB raffle. So how many tickets were sold, and are we hosting a raffle tonight? So let's get right into it. I looked at this earlier. It did not look promising, just to let you know. And mass love show to the entire world. Oh, we got 3 views. Okay, so mass love show to everyone in the world. So mass love show to North America, South America, mass love show to Africa, Europe, mass love show to you, mass love show to Asia, mass love show to Australia, mass love show to Antarctica. Don't think we missed anyone in the world. Okay, mass love show to Greenland, mass love show to Russia, Canada, US, of course, US. Massive US of A. Do we hold any grudges? I'm from Canada. Trump is doing a magnificent job for the American people, which is excellent for everybody that's in America. I just wish that the rest of the world would follow suit and provide their own strategies on how they're going to make their country the greatest country on the planet, right? That's the whole purpose, is to enlighten people and to educate them. The sooner the better. And everybody should be holding SHIB, right? Every single person on the planet should be trying to buy as much SHIB as they can get their hands on. Now, why do we say that? Is it because we're biased? And we just want people to get into SHIB, SHIB, or Shiba Inu currency? The reason why we say that isn't because we want to cash out. It's because we want that adoption. We want worldwide adoption. We want SHIB to be the people's currency. Does that make sense to everybody? We want SHIB to be the people's currency. Massive love shout out to Jason Cox. Massive love shout out to Wena. Massive love shout out to Rowena. Massive love shout out to Babe's channel. Massive love shout out to Mark Anthony. He's always in here. Massive love shout out to you. Mark, you're coming in here quite a bit, so we'll probably end up offering you a position if you want it later on once we get the raffle going, so that if you wanted to become a data entry, so that you're behind the scenes. And all it is telling everybody that the wallet holder that's winning, that's the wallet holder that gets that amount if he hasn't changed any of his profiles. So we ask everybody when you win, simple question: do you want the money that you, the SHIB that you won, sent back to the wallet that you sent it in? If not, you'll have to give us a new wallet address, and we'll have to confirm that wallet address at least 3 times. Okay, so just be aware of that. And if we get it wrong, you have to go through another three processes to configure that, right? Just so that everything's legit, just so we keep everything, so that we don't make any mistakes, right? Because when we first start, we don't want to make any mistakes whatsoever in hosting the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. We want to make sure that everybody who participates understands the rules and conditions. That's why we have you fill out the questionnaire saying that you please read the rules and conditions, even though those rules and conditions are pretty blah, blah, blah. We understand that. But that's what the rules and conditions are for. And because it's in cryptocurrency, yeah, massive love shout to Mark Anthony. You did, Mark. No laughing. It's not a laughing matter. Yeah, so we didn't sell any tickets in the last 24 hours, so we're carrying over to the next raffle draw. Everything that we don't sell or don't get enough ticket sales in, we carry to the next raffle draw until we have, what? How many? 21,000 tickets sold. So if everybody was to buy 20 tickets each, that's 1,063 people throughout the entire world. 8 billion people on the planet. 5.3 billion of them can take part in the raffle, according to sources from AI. Okay, there's 3 sources from AI. They all came up with the same number roughly. And I asked simple questions like, how many people can invest right now throughout the entire world? They gave me 5.345, 5.328, and they did their calculations based on the demographics of legal age to drink, is basically how they did it. Okay, so 8 billion people, 5.3 billion people can afford to buy SHIB. Now, how much SHIB? That's a good question. Busy driving, can't text, but excellent, Mark. Yeah, we don't want you texting and driving. That's a big no-no. You should be having a significant other when you're doing those kinds of things so that you can pull over and let them drive. Or you're in the passenger seat and you're free to text all you want then. As long as you don't piss off the person driving, because normally the wife doesn't like me texting and while she's driving, which is funny because she does it all the time. But you know how the double standard works when it comes to being married, right? Everything's a double standard. You're always wrong. They're always right. Oh, there you go. At least you can do 2 things at the same time. That's multiplex. What do they call it? Multitasking. There you go. Right. Excellent, Mark. Don't text and drive, Mark, even if you're at a red light. I do that too, buddy. Trust me. It's I usually get Siri to do the, which is a really, really bad idea, talking, and it writes your text, but majority of the time it gets it wrong. I'm always correcting it. It's a real pain. If you speak too fast, it's even worse. You have run-on words. It's like, wow, that's the longest word I've ever seen in my life. But it's not a word. It's all the words crunched together. Yeah. So what else is going on with SHIB? 20 million SHIB was sent to the incinerator today. 694 billion SHIB was sent into the incinerator without anyone noticing. And the reason why no one noticed it is because 10 million, a billion, 3 billion, 4 billion over the course of a month. People look at it and say, yeah, it's burning, but it means nothing. That's what they want you to believe. Now, I don't know why they want to say that to you unless it's promote their currency or whatever they're trying to sell you. That's what they're trying to sell you. Okay, instead of looking at SHIB as a means to an ends, they look at SHIB as a means to get out. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know what people are thinking. In my personal opinion, if you owned a stock like Apple and they wanted to do share buybacks, wouldn't it be in their best interest to come up with a plan to reduce SHIB circulating supply, thus paying people forward with dividends in Apple stock? And it costs them nothing to do it? Like, to me, that would be a no-brainer, right? That's not like, but how many of them know about it? And then how many people that's in Apple that are accountants can look at it and start divulging it and say, hey, wait a second, we're going to get paid from the government to reduce SHIB circulating supply? Shouldn't we own it and then buy the money, use the money to buy SHIB and then reduce the circulating supply? That would make too much sense, right? That would just make too much sense to people, and it would drive the price of SHIB up. But you're not getting the bottom line. It also pays their dividends for them. So it costs them nothing to do it. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at. So rather than taking the money and buying back their shares, use the money, offer better dividends to their investors, which also increases what? More value. Exactly. So they're able to do 2 things at the same time and it doesn't cost them anything. So the prospectus is, how come all the other companies aren't doing it? What, are they all that blind that they can't see it? Or are they doing it in secret? Well, I beg to differ on that one. Because if that were true, SHIB would shoot up like a bat on fire. There would be more desire. Way more demand. There would be an insatiable demand. Because the amount of SHIB that they would have to own is immense. Just like the exchanges starting a bidding war. It would be immense, and it would be intense, and it would be electrifying, and it would show off just the power behind SHIB, just on its own merit, which is phenomenal. When you think about it, how many companies out there pay you to stay in them? Okay, Apple does because they do share buybacks. But how many share buybacks do they buy in? And do they buy at market? None of them buy at market, by the way. I was talking to ChatGPT, and they said that's a brilliant observation because none of them do it. But SHIB does it constantly. Well, why would they do that? Well, there's two reasons that they do it. Money. I want to make money. I want to steal money from everyone else. And I can do that just by buying SHIB and then reducing it. I don't reduce my money. Oh, no. I want to reduce their money. So I make more money. Do you see how it works? So every company, every organization is the same way. I want to make money, and I want to take away their money from them making money. And if they don't know about it, then it's on them. So that's why I have a hard time understanding why this hasn't happened yet. It's frustrating? No, but it's awesome for those getting in, right? You got to understand what the potholes along the way are, and it's an opportunity for others to get in and take advantage of it. Because sooner or later, this is going to come to fruition, and everybody's going to want it. Question is when, right? When is it going to happen? That's the one trick pony that no one knows. When is it going to start waking up and people are going to start realizing just what is going to be behind SHIB's movement? Well, SHIB should have already moved. We already said this before. SHIB should be sitting at 304 minimum. That's like 35 times your money or 32 times your money right now. So, like, that's the insanity part, that we're trading this low. That means we have a lot of people who don't know what SHIB is. And they don't know the value. They don't do any research on it. I was on X today explaining this whole scenario to people of what you're missing out on. I got 9 reviews, right? 694 billion SHIB sent to the dead-end wallets over the course of 4 years, and no one noticed it. Yet we do 56 billion burn in 3 months. Everybody notices it. Oh, I better get in, and it shoots up 6 to 7 times. Between 6 and 7, between $5 and $6 billion in transactions every day. How much money is that? Right? Every single day, 43 days on 56 billion. We're talking 694 billion. $6,133,743.60 given back to the entire SHIB community, and nobody notices it? It went up 6 to 7 times its money on 56 billion. You imagine what it would shoot up to if it was on 694 billion. It's 12 times. So you go, okay, so it rose to 5. We didn't get another burn. Shibarium didn't do another burn. In fact, they did another hard fork. All they did it was publicity on their ecosystem development team to focus on their Shiboshis that were coming out the next month. That's it. What happened to Shiba Swap 2.0, guys? Anybody? Remember it was being talked about? Nothing. Okay? Because it doesn't really help the ecosystem development team. But they did release Treat, and it flopped. It flopped hard. Bone flopped. Leash flopped. Why? People are starting to run away from it. And all they had to do was go to an exchange, partner up with an exchange, saying, listen, if you start reducing SHIB circulating supply on a regular basis and you start buying it on a regular basis, you are going to make insane amount of money. How about we partner up with each other, and I will run you through the paradox of what we're going to do together to increase the wealth of the nation or nations around the world by mass adoption. And we're going to exploit that. But I want a bit of a kickback for the advertising cost of it, because we have SHIB magazine, we have SHIB blah blah blah. We're already one step closer, and we have Shibarium, which we're now thinking we're going to start getting the gas fees using SHIB, because we're both going to make money. Because if they start using SHIB and we start buying it with the contemplating back and forth on the reduction, we should be able to buy it at the same time on your exchange. We're not going to go off your exchange. And we want you to use Shibarium as the layer 2 blockchain for your transactions back and forth. So we both make money either way. And we're helping raise awareness for SHIB, SHIB. Doing that would increase the amount of money that they would make. Absolutely. It'd be stellar. But they didn't do that. Nope. It's all about making the $12 million, $14 million on their own instead of billions. Hey, you know what? Knock your socks off, right? We always say the same thing. Knock your socks off if you think small, right? Everybody deserves to make money. Absolutely. But if you're thinking small, that's all you're going to get is small. They sold 80% of their SHIB for their projects. You believe that? And they burned SHIB, $306,000 USDT for their popularity. That's a huge advertising cost, by the way. Right? It went back into the SHIB community, and they're hoping that the SHIB community would all stick behind their projects. No, they're not going to stick behind something that doesn't help them. And it doesn't help them. It helps you. It doesn't help the SHIB community gain in value or flux. Even though the 56 billion did lead to a 6 to 7x, there's no follow through. Vladimir Buterin did the exact same thing with the 410 trillion that he reduced. They made 40 billion. Like, think about it. $40 billion that they made in 4.5 months. And all of them were so ecstatic. They were so focused on celebrating with the champagne glasses and partying hardy that they forgot what got them there in the first place. They would have taken their 40 billion and times it by 3. That's $120 billion on the next burn. Just doing the next burn. You're talking about $7 to $8 billion a day in transaction fees. 7 in transactions. Sorry, not transaction fees. Transactions. 7 to 8 billion transactions per day. Are you kidding me? No one saw that? No one paid attention? Isn't that worth the risk? You know it's going to follow through. You know it. People are going to be like stunned like this. What did they just do? We're all going to be like this. Woo! And then, wait, someone sold it. Who sold it? Who's selling it now? Right? That's exactly it. Who's selling it now? People who don't know? People who don't want to do due diligence is basically how it comes out to. Remember what I said before about the roadmap? People only want to look at the next 10 feet because they have no patience to look any further than their nose. That's exactly it. If you have wisdom, you see the potholes. But besides that, you don't look at the potholes, you look at the destination. Where's the destination? It's not here. It's a long ways from here. And it's paved in gold. And it's got gold bridges and gold fillings along the side of it. And it's got a big dollar sign at the end of it. Not pennies, dollar signs. But you have to see the forest through the trees, right? You have to understand the destination. It's got lots of zigzags. Oh yeah, it's got lots of them. But when it starts to pan out, it's all straight line. You got a lot of zigzags in between those, though. Well, yeah, you got a huge amount of what? You have a huge platform. And it's shrinking. But it's not shrinking very fast, right? but you don't have that many holders holding it either. So you have 5.3 billion. How many are actually holding SHIB? Not even 1%. Massive love shout out to Jason Cox. Woo! In the house. You're learning a lot today, Jason. So what did you learn? Because we're writing down the variables. We're trying to do the variables. I think I touched on 2 of them the other day. I tried going through ChatGPT to figure out all the possibilities, but ChatGPT is basically just feeding off of me, which is interesting. Like I'm teaching it. But I've been teaching it for a long time. When I first started with ChatGPT, working for the good. Yeah, so that's the patience. It's not patience, it's wisdom, right? We always ask God for. We don't ask him for patience. You're going to be tested. You're going to have lots of dips in the road. You're going to have lots of potholes. You're going to have lots of turns, lots of different mix-ups. Vehicles pulled over on the road, accidents, fire trucks, ambulances going the other way. You're going to have lots of distractions. You're going to have helicopters in the air. You'll be monitoring them. That's your patience. When you ask for patience, that's what God is going to give you. He's going to test those patience. If you ask for wisdom, it gets you through everything that's going on right now. And you start to see the finish line. Right? The finish line, never ending in SHIB, unless we run out of supply. And can anyone see us running out of supply anytime soon? Not a chance. Unless you start to see every organization start to buy SHIB. Every single one of them. Because first you have to buy it, then you get to reduce it. It's not the other way around. First you got to buy it, and then you start the reduction mechanism. Now, on a personal note, it won't happen personally, right? Every single one of us put your hand up. It will not happen on a personal level. You're not going to short SHIB on a personal level, or at least you shouldn't. If you want to test the waters, go right ahead. But on a personal note, it should never happen. It should always come from an organization. Why? They're getting paid to do it, guys. Why would you do it if they're going to get paid to do it? And when they get paid to do it, they've got 2 things going for them. Each country is going to give them a grant, or they're going to give them money back in their pocket, or they're going to give them a tax incentive program to write that off against their taxes. So it comes off the top before they pay any taxes on it. For me and you, we don't get those breaks. We get capital losses, yes. So from when we pull it out, and this is the other scenario. When we pull it out and it's millions of dollars, depending on which country you're in, will depend on how much taxes you pay. So to offset that payment, you burn. Makes sense? You're giving it back to the community that helped you get there. Why wouldn't you do that? It's gone already. You're giving it to the government. It's gone. So if you pay it forward, you make more money. You'll have to pay more taxes. You can write that off. You burn more SHIB. Right? So then you use that as a tax write-off. That is your capital loss. Then you cash out your SHIB if that's your intention. That's how you do it. So if you're cashing out 30% or 40% of your total supply, remember that you have to pay capital gains on that if you have capital gains. Not too many of us have capital gains at this value, but for those looking further, like 30 times, everybody should have capital gains when it gets to 30 times your money. Like from now, right? From now, 30, 33, 34 times your money from now. Because that's where it should be sitting at, but a lot of people don't see it. They refuse to see it. They're like, no, it's not. It's trading at 1285 or 1290 right now. 40 is 1290 is where it's trading at right now. So it's not worth 3 zeros, 5 or 4. How can you say that? That's impossible. Really? Why do we say that's not impossible? Because it should already be there. 694 billion. That's 6 million $133,734.60 USDT to every single SHIB holder out there. You want to sell it at this price? Awesome. Somebody's going to buy it at this price. And we are all DCAing in, right? But we're only DCAing in how much, Jason? A lottery ticket's worth. So if it's $5, $6, that's it. That's as far as we go with it. Every week, every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days. That depends on you. How many times you buy a lottery ticket. Just use the fundamentals of the lottery. Okay, so if it's $6 a week, that's what you put in SHIB. If you want to do it every 2 weeks, that gives you $12, so it cuts down on the fees. That makes more sense, right? And if it's $12 a month, you only do it once a month. Or you can break it down and say, okay, every week, $12 divided by 4 is $3, and buy SHIB with $3. Absolutely. We don't knock anybody for putting money in, because it's all you, right? It's on every single person that's out there. So everybody has a different in and different out, of course. If you're only putting in a certain amount, your out is going to be a lot higher than majority. And do we recommend ever getting out of SHIB? It's up to you as an individual. I can make suggestions, but it's not my money. It's your money. It's your decision. So as a disclaimer, it's a good time to talk about the disclaimer. No one here is going to offer you financial advice. This is just out of entertainment purposes only, educational purposes, and to help you make a formal decision on what you want. But we just think it's funny that we're trading at such a low value compared to the valuation that it should be sitting at. Like that's a long way. 30 times your money. That's a long way. That tells you the value is here, price is here, and it should be right. So the value is around 4. We should be sitting at 308, somewhere around there. And as soon as we break above that, of course, we're going to dive, and then crust, dive, and then when we get massive burns, it's going to spike up again. But again, people got to be paying attention, because it's going to tell you exactly how much the valuation is on that burn. Right? 20 million burn, 30 million burn, 40 million burn is affecting it, but how much of an effect is it taking place? It depends on who's burning it, what's being burnt, and how often it's being burnt. Okay, so like the 694 billion snuck up on everybody. No, it didn't sneak up on anybody. It was over time. And if you listen to other people, and everybody has apparently, they tell you that SHIB is still a meme coin. SHIB is not going anywhere and has to completely dissolve its 589 trillion SHIB. The truth of the matter is, all SHIB needs is adoption. And the only way it gets adoption is if it gets a higher price tag. Because a higher price tag means it's less volatile. It can't be manipulated like it's being manipulated. It can't be controlled like it's being controlled. So what's happening is, what you're seeing is, you're seeing the difference in volatility because of the amount of influx holders have. It's because they're able to buy billions of it. Billions upon billions of SHIB. Okay? And when they sell it, of course, it hurts a lot. But they're selling something of value for something that has no value, right? That's the bottom line. And everybody understand that? When you're selling value for nothing, you're going to get what in return? You could get screwed. You could lose it all, right? Those that are selling it, and then there's a buyer. There's a couple buyers. There's 100 buyers. There's 1 million. All of a sudden, you start to realize that you sold something that everyone else knew was happening, and they're just waiting for that right opportunity to jump in and start buying it. It got to the price where they were like, hey, wait a second, I want in now. When SHIB goes down, everybody says the same thing. The mental capability of everybody, the psychology behind it, is I can buy it for less. Why would I buy it now? The truth is, you don't know when the bottom is, and it's well below the value of it. So you could have an eruption and it shoot up 100 times. No, shoot up 10 times easily. 10 times your money right now would be what? It's not that far off, right? Well, it's 12, 4, 24, 10 times. It's not that far off, guys. Would be around 2,000. 4 zeros, 2, right? No, it'd be 4 zeros. Was it 8 would be 8 times. Ten times would be at 3 zeros, 1, 2, right? 10 times. Is that right? Or is that 100 times? Yeah, it should be around the 3 zeros, 1, 2, you'd think, right? 1, 3. That would be 10 times your money. 20 times your money would be 20, would be another 10 times your money, that, right? Hold on to your bobby socks. We'll get right into it. I wanted to get into mathematics with you. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I really wanted to touch on that. I wanted to see if anyone was interested in knowing what the variables are and what are the realistic goals. Well, we don't have any goals for SHIB. One, you can't have any goals for SHIB. That's number one. SHIB is on its own. And when it's constant reduction, everybody's going to take part in it eventually. But when is that going to happen? When they find out about it. So who's spreading the word? Everybody that's in the SHIB community should be spreading the word. Right? Everybody. SHIB doesn't have any personnel. So therefore, it's up to every single person to spread the news. Spread the good news. SHIB's here for you. SHIB is going to make you a multimillionaire. If you have the patience, no. If you have the wisdom to stick it through. You got to see the forest through the trees. Got to see the destination. You don't see the destination, you're not going to see what the potential is. You're not going to see the opportunities that lie forward. We don't like to use potential, right? Potentially, there's 5.3 billion wallet holders. Potentially. But the truth of the matter is, how many of them are willing to make money? And how many of them refuse to buy something that they lost money in a long time ago? SHIB is a different breed, right? A different creed. It has explosives, and then it has reductions. So it explodes in price, and then it retracts very rapidly. And then it explodes in price, and then retracts. And every time we have an explosion, we have a massive reduction. We've had a massive reduction. No one saw it. No one took advantage of it. And the price stayed the same. And when an exchange looks at it, they say the exact same thing. They said 694 billion was destroyed. 6 million was given back to the entire SHIB community, and no one did anything about it. There wasn't a rise, so that's very risky. So that tells them if they start doing small burns, it doesn't matter to the community. The community does not appreciate it. Do you hear that? Do you see what's going on? Do you see that? If it's done gradually over time, people don't pay attention to it. People don't care about it. Are you kidding me? You don't care about $6 million given to you? 6 million given to the entire SHIB community. You don't care. None of you care to rise the price. Either you have something wrong, or you're just ignoring all the signs, or you just don't want to read what's into it. But if you listen to other influencers are going to tell you about what? The ROI, the RSI, the Bollinger Bands. They're going to tell you about the charts, how to read them, what's going on. SHIB should never follow a chart. Any reason why? Every time we do a burn, we do what? Every time there's a burn, it's reducing the circulating supply. That means there's less of that supply for someone else, for a company, from an organization, for an individual. 20 million. So if you have 20 million SHIB in your wallet right now, and someone just burned 20 million just for the sake of burning it, thank you so much for helping the entire SHIB world recognize, apologize, and take action on it. Because that is a burn that no one else is going to be able to touch. No one else is going to be able to obtain. Even if it's 5 SHIB, it's gone forever. I think people miss the concept constantly adding value. It doesn't matter how much is reduced. That's something that's taken away from the entire world, that was available to the entire world. Now it's gone. Now it's gone. So that money that was sitting in there is obliterated. It's sent to the abyss, never to be seen again. I think people miss that concept, because if you think about it, how many people are on the planet? 5.3 billion investors. None of them want to lose money. Not a single soul wants to lose money. Yet they have no problem selling SHIB for less money. The irony is honestly profound. Profound. So when I keep telling everybody you're selling something of value for something of no value or less value, think about your fiat currency owing more than their GDP. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're looking at gold. Remember, the gold is hedged in countries that owe more than their GDP. So the gold standard is actually sitting on negative worth, not positive worth. So you got to keep that in mind. China is buying lots of gold. But for them to buy the gold, they got to mint more money. They got to print more money to buy more gold with their useless dollar that they're buying it with. So, hello, wake up, right? Wake up, wake the fun up, we call it. Wake the fun up, everyone. You're buying something, it's tangible, yes, but who's got majority of it? China and Russia. And China is manipulating it. And the U.S. bonds are buying it. Right? Is it smart investing? Hell, it's smart. Because everybody values it higher than their dollar. When the truth of the matter is, they're the ones buying it, printing the money to buy it. So it's got this value attached to it. Yeah, but that value is attached to your deficit. So is it really worth that? No, but it's inflated to make it look like it is. So you can print even more money to buy even more gold. That's exactly what China is doing. And it's increasing the value of gold because they're buying more of it. But they're buying it from them, you got it, themselves. When you think about it, it really makes you laugh, right? You're like, wow, it's just a way of printing even more money and then saying it's backed in something that actually has value when it clearly has lost its luster. But they're not looking at it that way. And then you have SHIB reducing its circulating supply, increasing everybody's value that's in SHIB. And it hasn't caught on yet. And aren't you glad that you're in it? Knowing that the road ahead is paved in gold. It's money, but it's digital currency. Faster, better equipped. So that you don't have to carry it with you. You carry your ledger on a USB stick. You take that on the plane. You go to anywhere in the world. Pop it in, trade it off into the currency that you're in. You don't have to worry about anyone else's currency. The currency that you're in that country, you were able to obtain their currency through your SHIB. Isn't that awesome? And you do it in seconds. Cash in, cash out in seconds. So you're able to take your money, transfer it to their currency because you didn't have to transfer it. You don't have to lie about it on the plane. Are you carrying $10,000 worth today? Nope. I'm just carrying my little stick. I got it covered. It's got my passcodes on there. It's got my 10-digit code. I'm good to go. I can take it to any BTC machine. Nope. You can take it to any computer. Transfer it to the new account that you set up. Transfer the money straight into your account from whatever exchange you want. Straight into your bank account. You open it up today, you're able to cash it out today. It's that quick. And does it cost you anything? $5 to pull out whatever it is that you want to pull out. As long as they have the money in the bank. Go to the bank, cash it out. Go to the exchange department, cash it out from there. Once it's in the account, anybody can transfer the money. If it's got to go through a branch in your country and you want to do a remittance or cash out swap, see 100 million SHIB, enough to hold. Okay, 100 million SHIB. First of all, thank you so much for coming to the channel. Thanks for commenting. I want you to think of this. 100 million SHIB right now. What's the price of 100 million SHIB? Just do the math with me, okay? Times 32 times. We'll do 30 times, okay? Just keep it simple. 30 times your money. And that's where SHIB should be sitting right now. It's nowhere near that price. You wouldn't start even looking at something until it gets to that price, because that's fair market value. Everybody understand what fair market value means? It means the price that it is worth. Okay, so if it gets close to it, is it where it needs to be? No. SHIB should be sitting at around 4. 3 zeros 4 right now. We're sitting at 4 zeros, 3 zeros 4. And we're sitting at spoil. What does? Okay, the background. Interesting. Hold on to your white socks. Oh, hold on. I got it here. I'll tell you in a second here. Worldwide. The worldwide missed billions in SHIB. Can we catch up before it's too late? That's what it says. So it's basically SHIB, because it's a Shiba Inu dog. Shiba Inu, the world missed billions in SHIB. Will you catch up before it's too late? That's what it says. 694 billion to be in fact, that works out to $6,133,734.60 given back to every single SHIB holder on the planet. And how many of them realize it? I did. I'm telling you. Right? I'm telling you. That's a massive amount given back to the entire SHIB community that everybody missed somehow. But they didn't miss the 56 billion that Shibarium burned. They took advantage of it. It jumped 6 to 7 times your money from 8.8. Went from 8.2 to 4.05. It breached it just for a second, and then it went and started its decline down. No one took advantage of it. Okay, Spoil. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everybody who hasn't already. Make sure you tell all your friends and family members. Okay, so we can't tell you how much to buy because we don't know your financial situation. None of us know your financial situation, and it's not our business to know your financial situation. We do recommend that you use it as a lottery ticket. So whatever your lottery ticket preferences are, that's what you buy SHIB with. So if you do $5 a week in tickets for lottery tickets, that's what you spend. Not what you take to the casino, guys. Not what you gamble. to take it to the casino. No, 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 no. Whatever it is that you spend on a lottery ticket. So if you don't spend any money on a lottery ticket, we can't help you, right? I'm sorry, but we can't. If you don't buy lottery tickets, how much do you gamble then? If you don't buy a lottery ticket, are you buying stocks? Are you into other things? Because stocks are a lot more expensive than SHIB is right now. So you're buying something that has 4 zeros behind it. So 0.00004, 12, 90 right now. Okay, so it's on you. I'm trying to tell you the value that you're missing out on, and that the adoption is coming, but we don't know when that adoption is going to take place. If the adoption started already, you would see a massive, massive buy-in from everybody. You would see all the exchanges light up like a Christmas tree. Just to give you an inkling, all the exchanges right now, only 3 of them have 20 trillion or more SHIB on their own. That's not people trading it. That's on their own. Okay, so Robinhood is able to give you no fees, basically, because they own SHIBs. They have so much of it on their own that they trade it back and forth on their exchange without going to Ethereum. Binance is doing the exact same thing. Crypto.com, the exact same thing. OKX, exact same thing. But they only have 10 trillion. Gate.io is doing the exact same thing. They have 3 trillion on their own. Gate.io, and they only have 4.5 trillion SHIB in total. Okay? So we teach you about the value that's being added constantly. It's on you when you want to get out or in. And no one's going to tell you what's the wiser. If you want to hold it for the long term and watch the value grow, when you know it's adding value every single time we do a reduction in SHIB circulating supply, reason why we only cover SHIB, name a company that's buying back their shares constantly. They're not being reminded all the time of doing share buybacks. Name one company that's always doing a share buyback. Name one coin out there that's doing the exact same thing SHIB is doing. I don't see a bunch of hands going up for XRP. Yeah, so you name them, and we'll break it down for you. SHIB has got zero governance. Do you understand what that means? Anyone understand what that means? Zero governance. Talked about this all the time, right, Jason? Okay, so zero governance means zero wages to anybody. SHIB is completely on its own. So if you want SHIB to go through the roof, you want SHIB to go to the moon, everybody's got to get behind it. It's the people's currency for a reason, guys. It's a community token like Pepe, but Pepe, how many Pepe has been reduced? Anybody? Remember that Pepe's got a CEO and a CFO and an accounts representative. So that means they have administration costs. SHIB doesn't have administration cost. SHIB doesn't have a administrator. It's got no one to handle getting the word out about it. The only ones that are getting the word out about it are people that are hijacking its name, giving it a bad name. SHIB can't make any mistakes because it's got no one to blame but the people who are invested in it. So if you want to sell it, that's on you. We say the same thing. If you want out, there's always an out. If you want to sell it for less value, please understand that you're selling something of value. We don't say that, spoil. All we're saying is that SHIB is the only one that's giving you back money. When they give it back to you, it's gone forever. That means that the value that you hold is worth more. So you're getting something that's giving you more of something, and you're selling it for less. So you're getting more tokens. No, you're getting more value for those tokens or for that currency, and you're willing to sell it for less money. So you got to keep that in mind. That's what you're selling. And everybody wants to get you to sell it because they want you into their coin. They want you into their exchange. The truth of the matter is they should be buying up every single SHIB they can get their hands on. Hey, princess. How are you? Huh? Who's my little girl? Who's my little girl? Say hello. Meow. No, we don't sell. We don't tell you to sell other coins. We can't, right? This is an entertainment segment. If you want to, that's on you. Remember that you're always buying value when you buy a SHIB. That's it. The other ones we can't. As soon as you find out that it's got a development team behind it, it's got that they're doing gaming, they're doing all these little things. That's the hints that it has a CEO, CFO, a board of directors, HR, administration, a marketing team. All of them need money. Okay, and it's a financial I want you to remember this. Majority of all the coins that are out there are financial institutions that did not do well on the stock exchange. They came to crypto because there's less regulations. Zero regulations. SHIB compared to Bitcoin. Well, first of all, what is Bitcoin? Because without Bitcoin, we wouldn't have SHIB. Right? There would be no SHIB. If there's no Bitcoin, there's no SHIB. There's no Ethereum. There's nobody. It's like the king of rock and roll is always going to be Elvis Presley, right? Exact same idea. So when you're comparing the king of pop, Michael Jackson, compared to Elvis Presley, what's the first thing you sit there and say? Two different identities, two different ethnic groups that grew up in two different eras. Both of them have a huge following. Both of them have massive adoption when it comes to the amount of music that was written. But there's only one king. Bitcoin's always going to be what? Why? It doesn't matter how much SHIB goes above it or below it. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be uno, right? Number one. Why? It's the king. It was the first one. It doesn't matter if SHIB goes above it. It's always going to be, Bitcoin's always going to be number one. SHIB and Bitcoin are two different entities. Both of them have similarities. Both of them completely different. SHIB started with a what? 1 quadrillion coins. Bitcoin started with a lower coin, right? There wasn't that many available at that time. So it started small and then worked its way up. SHIB is working its way backwards. So how can you say they're the same? They're similar, but they're different. They have different, 24 million BTC. Well, Bitcoin, the lowest point, 8 cents. Is that right, everybody? 8 cents for Bitcoin? So how many Bitcoin could you have bought for 8 cents? And then how many people bought it when the rest of the world was telling them it's a hoax? Don't buy it. It's used for criminal activity. How many people heard that? That Bitcoin was used for criminal activity. And how many people were scared to get into it because the governments all over the world were telling you the exact same thing. It's a hoax. It's a fraud. It's never going to amount to anything. How many of them? How many heard that? Everyone I talked to said the exact same thing. I'm not buying it. I wouldn't even put $5 into it. Can you believe it? That's exactly what we said. Because why? The government told us to. Just like the government told us in 1929 to give them all the gold. Right? We need the gold. We don't have enough in reserves to to host. So give us all your gold. Not we're going to pay for it. We want it, and we're going to give you this price for it. It was literally 50% of the value of it. And do you remember this? And 2 years later, 2 years, not 4 years, not 5 years, not 6 years, not 10 years later, 2 years later, they're selling it back at 3 times what the value was. Not half. No, they wanted half the value for it. That's what they gave you. They confiscated it. Okay, you have 3 million SHIB at 3 average. Advice. Spool. Okay. Do you want advice? You want honest advice? How come you haven't been DCAing in? That's dollar cost averaging. Taking your $5 or whatever it is that you spend every week on lottery tickets and buying SHIB back. How come? Right? How come you weren't doing that? That's a lot of money at 303 or 403, right? So you're averaging. So now you're got to be averaging down at this level. Okay, this goes for everybody. This goes for everybody. When you're averaging in now, make sure you're doing what? Doing the math on how much you're going to have to continue to pay in to bring the price down to roughly around 4015. Okay, you're hoping and praying that it's going to stay in this range, but the truth of the matter is that at any moment it could explode. But are you going to feel bad if it went to 406, double where you are now, double from where you bought it? Are you going to feel bad about that? And then are you going to get out at that level? Or are you going to wait for it to hit 304, which is still 11 times, right? 11 times from where you bought it. Would you be happy with that? And would you be out at that? Only you can answer those questions. And it's on you. 24 million BTC. Let's say, CPA. So where's everybody from? So what does that mean? It means that you should have been dollar cost averaging down when it hit 25. You should have been dollar averaging down when it hit 20. Should have been dollar averaging down when it got to 18. Dollar cost averaging down when it got to 15. Dollar cost averaging down even now, right? 10. When it hit 10, you should have been dollar cost averaging down. Babes channel, massive love, shout out to Babes channel. So yeah, it's going to get back up there, Spool, but you got to be paying attention, right? You got to be paying attention, especially if you want to get out, right? Because I don't know, like we said before, you want to ask Jesus Christ or the Bible or your spiritual advisor. Massive love to Jason Cox. Thanks, Babes channel. Massive love shout to the host. Shout to everyone. Massive love shout to the entire SHIB community. Okay, so the best advice we can give anybody is always dollar cost averaging in. So when it goes down, you buy more. I've been buying more, spending $50 every 2 weeks, which is $25 a week. So if I want to, I could put just $25 a week in to SHIB. And that would what? Ensure that I'm always getting in? Absolutely. My average cost, I can't really do my average cost because I pulled out a fair bout when it went up 6-7 times, right? So I pulled a lot out just to get, and then I put a whole bunch more money back in. So, but when it went down, my goal was to obtain 1 billion SHIB. That was my goal, right? With the 50-50 raffle, that would intensify everything quite literally. And we would be looking at a much higher price right now. Only because what the raffle means. The raffle wakes everybody the fun up immediately. Like literally immediately. 300,000 hits on the website a day would set us ablaze. And we would all be on cloud nine. No one would be asking silly questions like, when do I get out? It would be like, how much do I need to take before before we hit the $1 mark? Well, we'd have to burn trillions a day. With the raffle, we can burn pretty much the whole entire supply. And we don't need that many people to buy SHIB. 30 million people, just so you know, 30 million people in the entire world, right? To buy 20 tickets, which the tickets are $14.40 US to buy 20 tickets. In Canada, it's a little higher. It's $17.89. In the UK, it's £10 worth of SHIB. 30 million people buying tickets per day. We're at $1 trillion. We're over 3 trillion a day in reducing. That means we have 48 winners every single day in SHIB. And what do we pay out? It's a massive amount. A massive amount. Right now, at the current price, hold on 2 seconds here. We're having some loading. It's loading. It's loading. Yeah. Let it load. Let it load. Let it load. So somebody asked me what the messaging is behind the symbol. And we can tell you that. The world, SHIB, the world missed billions in SHIB. Can we catch up before it's too late? Before it's too late for what, right? Before everybody realizes just how much power is in a depleting currency. Now, somebody asked me about BTC. What's BTC to SHIB? BTC is already gotten its level. It's already got that adoption because El Salvador's now taking it on as a currency, an actual trading currency. The rest of the cryptocurrencies, all of them, are non-tangible. They're not assets that they can trade. So, therefore, it has zero, and I mean zero, legal tender anywhere throughout the entire world. So what does that tell you about SHIB? It tells you that it can be traded, that anybody can own it, has no governing body. So it's for investors, by investors, and how the investors want to trade that is all on them. Somebody shows you what the value is, what you're missing out on. Are you taking their word for it, or are they proving it to you? We're proving it to you, right? You go on shibburn.com. Everybody right now go on shibburn.com. And I'll even go on shibburn.com just to prove a fact. Simple fact. We are reducing SHIB circulating supply. Now it wants me to log in. Please log into your account. It's been 24 hours since you've last logged in. Okay, so 13 hours ago, we burned 20 million SHIB. Now, what does that tell you when we burn 20 million SHIB? You go to the top where it says Shiba Inu supply. And it says up 0.42% on the day. Right now, we're sitting at 12.82, according to the SHIB burn. And you look over there where it says 410 trillion, that's reduction. That's the reduction amount, the burn amount, the value part of SHIB, that massive utility that no one talks about. No one talks about the value that's there, because that's that value that's being added to the entire SHIB network. Everybody in SHIB, every single one of you, that's your money that's gone back into helping you stay in it. That's the value that's being added. So 410 trillion is back to the entire SHIB army or family or community. Okay, if you don't like it, get out. But you understand that you're selling value when you do. So a lot of people don't. Okay, 748 billion. That's not Vladimir Buterin burning it. That's people burning it. And I hope it's all companies burning it. Why do we want companies burning it? Anybody? They get a tax break burning it. You get a tax break burning it if you're making money. If you're making money, you get a tax break for doing it. It's called a capital loss when you sell it. Okay? When you sell it and buy, or no, when you burn it, it's a capital loss. When you sell it, it's a capital gain if you're making money. So to offset what you pay the government, or you offset by helping the entire community, choice is yours. Find out what you owe the government, burn it. Burn a little bit more. Does it hurt you to burn 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents more? But it sure makes a difference right now, it does. Absolutely it does. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of SHIB. Not a lot of money, a lot of SHIB. 30 cents, 40 cents is not going to kill you, right? Especially if you're up a couple $100,000 and you're going to have to pay back $20,000, $30,000 to the government. Well, that $30,000 could go towards the whole entire SHIB community, and the government looks the other way because you reduce it. That's a loss. So then that loss goes against your capital gain. Hallelujah. Thank you for sharing that information. Everybody benefits from it. Exactly. So if it's in the millions, you can just think about it, right? $200,000 in burns. But SHIB is going to be at what value at that time? And how much supply is left? And how many people are in it? These are the questions you have to ask yourself when you're selling it. Every time you sell it, you should be doing some math. Okay, how many people are in SHIB? Because if there's 500 million people in SHIB, chances are you're looking at $3 to $4. If it's not at $3 to $4, it's well undervalued. So why would you be selling it? Again, it's undervalued. You're selling it for less value, which means I need the money now. And I'm making so much money, I'm not going to stay in it. I want to get out. Someone told me about this other great opportunity I can get into. I guarantee you, if it's at $1 and it's worth $4, that's 4 times your money. Somebody else is going to tell you that there's a great opportunity somewhere else. That's because they want you to cash out and put it into their thing so they can cash out and buy SHIB with it. Just saying. Because they know it's 4 times their money. Getting you to cash out so they can get their money out so they can buy SHIB. Because it's 4 times their money. That's the whole concept. Like right now, you're looking at 30 times your money. Yeah, SHIB is trading extremely low. That's because people don't know. Like right now, I probably have less than 500 people watching me right now. And then how long is that going to continue? Right? How many people are willing to bet that no one wants to make money? And no one cares about making money. That's the concept that we want to talk about. That's the concept we want to make sure that everybody understands. Because that's what you're missing out on. Everybody's missing out on that opportunity. Because how many people are sharing that information with everybody? And then how many people think that, oh, well, the host of the SHIB 50/50 raffle is full of crap. Because he's not paying attention to the Bollinger Bands. He's not paying attention to the charts. He's not watching the circumstances, what's going on behind the scenes. Those are the traders. Okay, those are short-term investors that don't understand value because they don't care about the value. They don't. And no matter how many times you tell them about value, they don't care. None of them give a darn. All they care about is the Bollinger Bands, the ROI, RSI, the top and the bottom, and where the liquid, how fast it's going down compared to how fast it can go up. That's the only thing they care about. You can talk all you want about value. Value means long-term investment. And to a short-term investor, Not interested. And that's the truth of it. Okay? So when people tell you that they're trying, they look, it's got a downward trend going on right now, that's an opportunity for everybody to take part in it and buy it. Spall. That's up to you, Spall. Okay? My heart goes out to you, though. I understand what you're trying to do. Defer, right? Which is fine. Which is fine. If you want to sell your Sony stocks, if you want to sell your Samsung stocks, don't tell us how much you have, okay? Just that's the number one rule. Don't tell us how much you're going to buy or how much you're going to start dollar cost averaging in. Remember this. If you start doing it today, we recommend you do it on Sundays because it's sell-off Sundays. Cryptocurrencies usually sell off on Sundays and Monday mornings. So if you're going to do some dollar cost averaging in, make sure you do it on those days. Just because majority of the time it's sell-off Sunday. How much does it sell off? Usually around 5 to 6%, but we're looking at a 20 to 30% deduction in the last week or so in crypto. So please keep that in mind, right? So how much money can you make? 30 to 40% on your money within a very short period of time? We have no idea. If you were to see Binance all of a sudden dollar cost averaging in or start double dipping on it and saying they're selling every single asset that they have and they're only going to stick with SHIB. If they were to say that, that means they've done it already. So these are the telltale signs to watch for. If an exchange tells you or you hear of an exchange that's selling everything and buying into something, they've already done it. What they're doing is trying to force everybody else to dive into it. Now, are they trying to sell it? No, they're trying to push it. Okay? If they don't see the value in it, though, they're looking at doing what? Pushing and then pulling. So they're trying to get everybody to push into it. Who's great for that? Bear Stearns? Absolutely. Bear Stearns is a big one, right? He's told everybody to sell gold. Said it for years. And all of a sudden, he's saying, oh, buy gold. That's because he's already bought it. He was already in gold. And then when everybody started piling into it, driving the price to $1,800 to $1,900, he was selling it. He sold 94% of his stake in gold, roughly around the 2,000 mark. And then he told people, I'm selling mine. He was already out. Guess what happens to the price of gold? Goes back down to 16. Was he buying more? No. It didn't get to his price target, which was around 12, where he bought it in the first place. So that's the one trick pony that everybody's trying to get you into it so they can get out of it. Does it happen all the time? No. That's why we talk about it here, because this is a safe place, right? We're into SHIB. SHIB doesn't have it out. And the people are going to sit there and say, well, isn't it like a cult if you never sell it? I'm gonna say this to you, okay? Everybody, Spall, you included, Jason Cox, everybody. Please listen very carefully. Banks will lend you the money. Get a load of this. Once SHIB gets to a certain price, you can borrow against it using fiat currency that has zero value, pay your bills with it, buy more SHIB with it, start a company, an exchange of 30 or 40 of you, because you'll have enough money to do it, and then buy more SHIB with it, and then reduce the piss out of it. Who makes the money? You use it to pay the bills. You're using your fiat currency to pay the monthly bill on the loan. SHIB's price is going to go where? Higher. What do you do to the bank? I need more money. Do you understand what's going on? Does everybody understand that concept? Massive love shoutout, yeah. Okay. The $5 a week is a good start. We said that. That is awesome. Right? You want to put $5 a week into SHIB? Awesome. You want to put $3 into SHIB a week? That's awesome. Your dollar cost averaging? Great idea. Should have been done a while ago, but it's an awesome idea. We can't tell you for certain. That's great. You'll know very shortly if it's good or bad if SHIB goes through the roof in the next little while. Then you'll be like, oh, I should have put more in. How come you didn't tell me to put more in? We can't tell you because we don't know you. So that's why we say only a lottery ticket's worth to every single person. Massive love shout to Wena, massive love shout to Rowena, massive love shout to the entire world. We want to make sure that this message gets to every single person on the planet. We want to make sure that everybody understands the value in SHIB and what makes it so unique and so interesting at the same time. And that we're in a great time to be in SHIB because we're in it at the bottom, pretty much the drop-in bottom of SHIB. It can go lower. Absolutely, it can go lower. People, if you want the money and you need the money right now, no one can stop you from selling it. Even though you know it's worth 30 times its value right now. If you want to sell the quarter for 20 cents, it's worth 25, but you want to sell for 20. In SHIB's case, you want to sell it for a cent. It's on you. And somebody is going to say there, and we're in a cult. Every single fiat currency in the world is a cult then. Your Canadian dollars, you're in a cult. The American dollar, you're in a cult. And were you forced into it? Yes, you were. Since when? Since birth. Since the time that I was born in this country, all we dealt with is the currency that was provided to me by the government telling me it's worth this much money. You just took it at their value, not at face value, their value. Whatever they tell you, you believe it. That's the truth of it. So you're in Canada, it's Canadian dollars. If you're in the UK, pounds, right? Or euros, if you're in Europe. And it wasn't always so in Europe. They had their own exchanges listed from every single country, province around the globe, right? Everybody has their own fiat currency, rubies, ruples, pesos. You're born into it. You're born with that currency. You didn't have a choice in it. Is that a cult? Well, I guess it is because it's in that country and we have no choice in it, but you can always go and buy other currencies. Well, yeah, you can. You can go and buy Zimbabwe dollars when it went, when they had to throw away their currency because it was oversaturated. You know, guy says, "Oh, look at that! I have 1 billion Zimbabwe dollars. I'm rich." And then it went tits up, or it went insolvent. What happens? All the money is worthless. Then they have to go to their lenders and say, we're so sorry, but we can't pay you back anything. So then they go insolvent. And then they become a third world country when they do so. So no one wants to lend them any money. So that's the one trick pony. When countries go insolvent, it's horrible. Now, China's gone and done it 3 times, just so everybody understands that. And they manipulate their currency all the time. That's why there's not a lot of trust in China. That's why Trump is so got the tariffs, because they continue to hijack technology. And they do it freely. And they tell everybody, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Our trade orders don't involve you. Not the same. So to get away from that, we go to SHIB, a currency that's actually working for you, not against you. And if someone wants to tell you that, hey, it's just a scare tactic to get you out of SHIB to get you into something else. So yes, $5 a week, spoil, is a great idea. It's a fantastic idea, right? But that's what we've been saying, right? Dollar cost averaging in, you should start dollar cost averaging in sooner, but that's okay. If you want to sell something to buy something else, nobody can tell you what's the best motive for that, okay? Nobody. And no one can tell you, yeah. Okay. That's good. Right? I'll do 10. And that's okay. But we're not going to say do it. We don't have that ability to do that. Only your accountant or your financial advisor can tell you those things. But they should know you. Right? And your accountant is going to tell you it's not possible. Like my accountant, my 3 of them that I went to ask advice for. First one says it's a hoax. Amazing. You know why they said it was a hoax? Any idea why they said that SHIB was a hoax? First thing they did was look up SHIB. What is SHIB? 90 different names. 90 of them. So there's 90 SHIBs on the cryptocurrency. And the one that rings through the most is Bone, Leash, and Satoshis, Shiba Swap, Shibarium, SHIB the Metaverse, SHIB.io, all of them. And you think that they're good for SHIB? When accountants see that, first thing accountant says is what? It's not possible. And then they look for back doors to find out that there's 90 different trying to steal SHIB's name and drive it down. Why do they do that? Because SHIB, 72 million% increases, 2021. Hello? You're going to get copycats. You're going to get people taking the name. It's a fact. What happened to Billy the Kid? They were arresting 20 to 30 Billy the Kids a week. Copycats. Why? Because it's cool. Because they want to make money. They want to. It's shot to fame. 72 million% broke world records. Broke world records. Even broke Bitcoins. Did it beat Bitcoin's price? No, it did not. Not even close. Not even close. When can SHIB break it? Well, I tell you, SHIB would probably break it when it gets to 25 million in circulating supply. And why? Because it's constantly reducing its circulating supply, which means it can go well below 21 million in circulation. It can drop down to 10 million in circulation. And everybody's like, well, never get there. It'll never get there. In a million years, it'll never get there. And then what happens when every single company in the world owns it and they start reducing it? Every single McDonald's, 10 cents is going to the reduction of SHIB circulating supply. Every single one. 10 billion served. I'm going to point that out to you right now. 100 billion served. 25 cents. 10 cents. Let's go 1 cent. I want everybody to start doing some math. There are 10,314 McDonald's in the world. They have over 900 billion served on their sign. Take 1 cent on every single order and start reducing SHIB circulating supply. Just from one company. Now you're talking every company, every Starbucks, every donut place, every franchise that's out there doing the exact same thing. You got all the food industry. You got all the retail industry. Now, why would they do that? Why would any of them do that? Any idea why they would do that? Because I'm going to ask you this. It costs them nothing to do it in the first place. They get to write it off. They get it back on their taxes. And if they do it right, they can get grants that pay them to do it. So why wouldn't they do it? Why wouldn't they do it is the question. It's going to give them money back in their pocket. It's going to make them enormously wealthy. So if it makes them wealthy, what is it going to do for the average person that gets in, that knows about it before it happens? It's going to make you all extremely wealthy. Why do you think we had the SHIB 50/50 raffle start in the first place? We want the raffle to work, right? We want the raffle to reduce SHIB circulating supply. All it does is do it faster. All it does is build the awareness of the magic behind SHIB, which isn't magic. It's just fundamental numbers game for the entire world to take advantage of it. And it hasn't caught on yet, and God knows why, but thank God it hasn't, because each and every single person has an opportunity to take advantage of it. Buy as much as they can get in there? No, we don't suggest that. You don't have to. All you got to do is dollar cost average in or buy a lottery ticket's worth of SHIB, whatever you spend on a lottery ticket. Now, if you don't buy lottery tickets, you can do what Spool is doing, $10, $5, $3, $4, $2, $1. If that's all you can afford every week or every month, it doesn't really matter as long as you get in. Because it's only a matter of time before the organizations from around the world find out about it, take advantage of it, and start reducing it. First, you got to buy it. So the organizations are going to do what? Start buying it from everywhere. And then they're going to start a reduction in SHIB circulating supply so they get the best dollar for dollar cost average that they can possibly get into. Because once it starts to catch on, every single person, every single organization wants to take advantage of it because it's going to give them more money. So imagine going to your shareholders. You had a dead month. You didn't make any money. But you have SHIB in your pocket. And it's gained 30 to 40% in value in that same month period. So there's your earnings, revenue, and growth all at once. And you got that doing nothing. How many of them want to take advantage of that? That's what you got to ask yourselves. How come no one else has figured this out? And how come I'm not buying in? And how come I'm not buying it? Because I don't believe it? So if you don't believe it, start following the numbers. Start doing how many wall holders are there? And remember, the wall holders are supposed to be on Ethereum. So there's 100, and they stopped. They've literally stopped it because Ethereum, I think they realized the mistakes they made from the past by not reducing SHIB circulating supply immediately after making 72 million% gains. $40 billion just off SHIB alone they made. Now, they could have taken $5 billion and reduced SHIB circulating supply, and that would have doubled, right? No, it would have went another jump because that's a massive amount. And then they're able to do 10 billion after that in reductions. How much SHIB would be left? Well, how much volume did they do? 4 times, 5 times their money. It's a no-brainer. It's like, wow, now you're waking up to it. Now you understand what that power is of SHIB. Now you get it. Now everybody understands that, right? You're seeing that value being added on a constant basis. So that's what you're missing out on. That's what the message of tonight is. And thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. Remember, we say John 3:16 every night that we're on. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son for the sacrifices of every single person on the planet so that they would have a spot in heaven. Because you don't get to heaven without going through Jesus Christ. You have to go through Jesus first before you get to heaven. Even though Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit are one and the same. Jesus was the Lamb of God. He sacrificed his blood for your sin, so you knew the wager of sin. Took the lamb, pushed him aside. Jesus took the spot. Jesus says, you want the light, the way is through me, Jesus Christ, our only begotten Father. So that's our Messiah. That's our Savior. That's our grace. We always say that. We always respect it. And he's the highest, right? The highest. So we always, right, the sign of the cross for all those Christians out there, for all those Roman Catholics. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great and wonderful night, everybody. This is Will, your host, saying good night. God bless. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. And cheers, everybody. Amen. Thanks, Mark Anthony. Have a great night, guys. Cheers. Love yous all. Take good care of you and each other. God bless.